Hi, you guys. Hi, Flo. Hi, Judy. Give me just a minute here and I'm going to open up a YouTube tab so I can watch myself on YouTube and see what you guys see. And chat in their chat. I like their chat better. So I hope everybody's well today. I'm doing okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We're almost set up. And I'd like to be able to do this before this stream, but I can't. So, Janet from another planet. Okay, we got it going on now. Oh, it feels so weird being here today with no Dee Dee before me. Ugh. Hi, Linda. Hi, Tim. Yeah, I'm just so used to my Monday routine that today really threw me. Been kind of lost all morning. But hopefully we're going to make up for it here. Just a minute. Getting myself some coffee. Hi, Chris. So as you guys know, I had company all last week, 7 days. 7 days is a long time, you guys. I'm just saying, 7 days of anything is a long time. But I survived and I'm here and I'm glad to be back to somewhat normal. I'm not sure that I even know what normal is anymore, but yeah, I think by the end of October, I should be feeling pretty normal. One thing I did do that was normal was I did do my Inktober, caught up, and I think I'm actually a little bit ahead now. Hi, Terry Brett. So this is the poster as it's coming along. And I've been posting dailies, and I haven't posted today yet. I think I'm actually 1 day behind on posting, but what the hell. So far, I'm liking the way it's coming along. I think I'm distributing the light and the dark good. This in here, I think, is just too medium, but whatever. Yeah, so this will become a wallpaper or a skin for probably another box. Yeah, because you can never have too many boxes. So that's really all I did. I did a little bit of this and I cooked. Thanks, Judy. It's coming along. I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'm going to darken this one somehow. Whether I color in the spaces that are left, I don't know. But I just feel like this is all too much the same tone. So we'll see. I'm excited to get it done. And here we are already at the 10th of October. Can you believe that? Like, time is so flying by, you guys. Hi, Pam. Thanks, guys. So, yeah. The only thing I'm really going to miss is ever since I started Inktober, I've had, like a little, I don't know, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch book of what I did for the whole month. I think I'm really going to miss that. And I've actually thought about going back and creating a little journal and redoing all these. Hey, Cat and Paste. Thank you. Because I think I'm going to miss that. But I don't know. How much time do I want to devote, really? It's not like I'm doing anything else. So anyway, we're 5 minutes in now. So we'll go ahead, but that's Inktober. I am recreating at least a little bit of each design in the Beast and drawn one of the Alpha Tunes with it. So I have been playing in the Beast too. And that artistically, that is the extent that I have been able to do the last week. Hopefully this week I'll get to do something different. And then obviously today I'm going to watercolor. I showed you guys last week the book that I got on sale at Hobby Lobby, which I needed another book, like I needed a hole in the head, but what the heck. Actually, Nikki and I watched a couple episodes of Hoarders one night while we were just killing time. And one of the hoarders was a book hoarder. And I'm not kidding. I've never seen so many books. Even at the library, I've never seen this many books. This man had so many books. And I thought, you know what? If you keep this up, that's what your house is going to look like. So, yeah, it was unbelievable. And mice had gotten it. Oh, it was just the most horrible thing ever. And I was just a little freaked out going, ooh, girl, that could be you. So this is the book I got. I like it, and it's more a project book. It's got the pictures all laid out for you. And I thought what I would do today is pick one of these, and I picked a few that I thought I would enjoy doing. And odd thing about this book, it's by Sarah Simon, Watercolor Workbook, and these are a combination of floral, and a few of them have people in it. But she has mixed her own colors and then given you the recipes to recreate her art with her colors, which I thought might be fun because, one, I'm not great at color mixing. That's why I have every watercolor known to man, because I just think, just buy the color already mixed. What the hell? Hey, Rachel. I sure did miss everybody this morning. But I thought, well, it might be fun to go ahead and start learning color mixing to a certain extent. And I've shown this before. When I very, very first started watercoloring, which is, I don't know, I'm going to guess a couple years ago, I got this little journal. It's called Field Artist to start playing in. And I had bought the Jane Davenport watercolors because they were irresistible. And so I started just doing like a swatch book. This was kind of just a swatch book. And here's some mixing down here, but it's mixing on the paper, not mixing your own colors. And then I started buying all of the Prima sets, which the Jane Davenports are, in my opinion, I don't know, I've not read this to confirm it anywhere, but the Jane Davenports are the Prima colors, I think. So this book started out just giving me a place to kind of play with the watercolors, because I never anticipated that I would actually watercolor a picture. And now I, of course, since have done that. Hi, Jamie. I hope I said that right. Hi, Shelley. So that's what this book started out as. And then I just started playing with them. And I have progressed a lot from this. But anyway, this was a little challenge that Dee Dee actually did for Paula Phillips. They were 2 by 2 inch squares or something like that, and you had to draw desserts and paint them. And this probably really inspired me a lot, just because I actually accomplished it. And some of them actually look like what they are. Like, I thought I did a good job on the strawberry, the chocolate covered strawberry, and the cookie. The donut, yeah, that's not so great. But as I started doing these little things, I think I branched out more and more. This was another Dee Dee 2 by 2 challenge, and it was all just flowers. So the donut looks edible. What? It looks like somebody sat on it. To me, that's what it looks like. It looks like, oh, if somebody sat on that donut, it's all flattened. Anyway, so yeah, I've just done little things in here, but I still keep it as a swatch book, and it only has a few pages left. So I thought today, as I mix the recipes to watercolor in this other book. This I've drawn it, but I haven't watercolored it. Yeah, that I would go ahead and put the recipes in my little swatch book. You know it, Rachel. I used a ruler this morning to draw this out. Why wouldn't you? Right? Why wouldn't you do that if you have one? And if you don't have one, you need to go get one. And the book's falling apart. Who cares? It looks like it's been well used and well loved. I can fix it. It's just a piece of tape. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to use the recipes out of the watercolor book and paint one of the pictures. So I'll be switching back and forth, I guess, as I figure out the recipes. And I did check. The weird thing about this is what I started saying earlier. The weird thing about this author is she never gives you the name brand of the watercolors that she's using, but she uses like the names that they're assigned because of their color mixture, right? So, for example, yellow rose is 10% white, 80% lemon yellow, and 10% alizarin crimson. Well, the only paints I have that use that naming is the little bit of Daniel Smith and M. Graham that I have. So I'm going to use those paints. Hi, Kathy Arbor. And I didn't have all the colors, but I did look up the ones that I wasn't familiar with, and I think we can come close enough. I'm not going to order any more paint. If I order any more paint, somebody cut my hands off, because it means I'm still using the computer to order stuff. All right, did I say hi, Kathy Arbor? I just saw you come in. Anyway, yeah, for sure, Rachel, that the colors up north must be really pretty. Yeah, they're getting pretty down here. We are definitely going into fall. You can feel it in the air, and I love it. I'm really happy. It's a little chilly in the morning and then warms up nice during the day. So anyway, I'm going to use her recipes, Daniel Smith or M. Graham paints, and see how close we can come. That's the plan. And I really have not done much color mixing other than a little bit on the fly here and there. So we'll see. The one thing I'm not sure about, okay, now when she's doing these recipes, she's saying 35% burnt sienna, 60% alizarin crimson, and 5% ivory black. How do I decide 35% or 60%? So I'm gonna wing it and try and come up with a color that is somewhat close to that. That's how I'm doing it. So yeah. So let me show you which pictures I kind of picked out that I thought would be fun to do. This book does not lay flat, which is going to be a pain for me, but this is, you guys are going to have, let me see. I'm going to pull you in a little bit so you can see the little painting she's done, because the drawing is actually gray and she wants you to ink it with permanent ink before you start painting. So I like this one. I like the colors, but that's a lot of mixing. Ooh. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Barbara Clark. Thanks for coming today, you guys. So that's one that I picked out. I like that. I pretty much like them all. Any of them would work, but I just thought, I like this one. This one might be best for you guys because I have to think about what you guys can see as I'm working. So that's this, real muted kind of colors. And then the last one is real simple poppy. What is the cutout in the middle of the color chart for? Okay. because I really need to make a new color chart, Rachel. I really do. You mean this one right here? Sorry. Let me fix the camera again. This one right here. I think at one time I didn't have any paints in there because from here up was all the Daniel Smith colors I had. And from here down was the M. Graham colors I had. And then some weird ones down here, Master's Touch, which don't ever buy Master's Touch paint, in my opinion. I would recommend that you buy Crayola before you buy Master's Touch. I was so disappointed in those. And at the time that I bought it, I think I needed a hooker's green, or I wanted one. So I bought those, looking at a color chart, thinking, oh, those are nice. They're garbage. That's good advice, Barbara. Thanks. But anyway, this is cut out because either had something else there or there was nothing there. So Kathy Arbor was kind enough to send me some Schminke paints, and I wanted them in my artist grade palette. So I cut that out and put her paints in there and moved stuff around. Yep. Hey, CB, you're the only mod today because, of course, Dee Dee is taking a day off. I'm not sure if she'll be back Wednesday or not. I think there's still a lot to be determined for her this coming up week. So, yeah. So that was just so I could add some other colors, Rachel. I really need to do a new one of these. We'll see if I get to it before Christmas. So, I don't know. As far as you guys seeing what I'm doing, this may be the best one. And maybe this is the one I should start with because I only have to mix 5 colors. And we'll see how I do on the color mixing before I throw up my hands and just say, enough. I give up. I give up. So, do you guys have a preference? Oh, that's right. I modded Rachel. One day I must have been on really bad drugs. Heavenly chorus and cheers for me. Hey, where's chicken pot pie? All right, let's get the recipes out. I'm kind of right now leaning toward this one, I guess, because I'll have to do less mixing. Rachel looks lovely in blue. Oh, Rachel, I did get on Facebook this morning. I haven't been on Facebook in forever, but I did get on this morning and I added you as a friend. Hey, Ange, how's everything? Okay, chicken pot pie's not going to be around for a few weeks. Okay, I hope everything's going well in her world. I must have missed that. What the heck? Anyway, all right, so let's go back here to recipes. And I need blush. And I have to say, I'm a wee bit nervous about this. I don't know why. But yeah, let's give it a go. Okay, for blush, I need 50% white, 30% yellow ochre, and 20% alizarin crimson. And I have all those colors. Okay, well, Rachel, don't expect a lot from me on Facebook because I honestly, when I looked at my notifications, I had some that were over a month old. Oh, can one person be more useless? Getting my spray bottle out. Here's water in the white. Oops. I was just using my phone as weight. Use Facebook for cat pics and works in progress. I use Facebook to go and get really furious. and make myself want to kill other people. Yellow ochre and alizarin crimson. So probably Facebook is not as bad now as it was for a while, but I used to go there and just literally want to kill people. So let's get out our little palette here. All right, here we go. What did I say I'm looking for? 50% white. And I don't think I need to make huge amounts of paint because it's just to use it for a little while. And this white tends to be a little opaque. But I want to mix enough, so there's that. And if you're a watercolor person and you're watching me and you want to laugh, I'd say just go right ahead. Go right ahead. Note to self, never tick Janet off at Facebook. Probably good advice. Nah, I probably would cut my own hands off before I said something too terribly rude. Well, now, to my one grandson, I did get pretty damn rude with him. He's so freaking ignorant. All right, so that's, let's just say 50% white. %30 yellow ochre. God, I hope this comes out even close to what it is. If it's not, I'm just going to be embarrassed. And 20% alizarin crimson. So let's see how this comes out. Oh, it's looking fairly good, you guys. Now, the next thing is, if it's not exactly what the color should be, I'm not sure what to add. Why did I decide to do this on camera? I probably should have practiced a little bit before I did it. Who would prepare, though? That just seems so crazy. All right. And I did get out a piece of watercolor paper so I can test it before I go direct to my paper. Oh, that's too dark. All right, add water. That one I know the solution to. Add water. Because the colors she's using are really, really light. I'm going to have plenty. All right. I think I need just a hair more red. Look at me being all recipe person. I think when I water it down, it's going to be okay. Well, I know it's going to be okay because we're going to use it. What did Ange have to say? Driving mental, which is one of the reasons. Yeah, I think a lot of us have kind of left Facebook. Yeah, well, don't send me private messages on Messenger. All right, we're going to go ahead and use that, and I'll just lighten it up as I need it. The next color I needed was what? We got blush taken care of. Oh, one thing I need to do when I make the colors. I'm going to add them to my little book here. Look at me all organized. Okay, hopefully that's the color it's going to work when I go to work on the page, because I think that's pretty accurate. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay. You would just send me a text message. That's the way it needs to be. All right, next one is oxide of chromium, which is its own color. And Winsor, it's a Winsor and Newton. This is one I had to go kind of look for. But it is a Winsor and Newton color. And to me, just looking, there were lots of different, of course, maybe other manufacturers make it. But to me, the closest I could come in the palette I have is like permanent green. Let me go and check again. Who is messaging me? Hang on, let me check real quick. And you're a nutcase. But I love you too. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to use, I'm going to mix the permanent green and probably undersea green. So let's just see how close we come. And the author did say, if you don't have the color, just mix something close, you know, use the colors that you have closest. Permanent green and hooker's green could also work, I think. So let's, and the amounts, oh, I don't know the amounts, so I'm just going to have to wing it. And if anybody has suggestions for me, they probably should speak up now. And I don't need a huge amount. And I didn't go out and look to see if you could actually mix it yourself. So let's see on the actual pictures. It's still, well, no, because that's mixing the two darker ones. Okay. And then Monstera is 60% oxide of chromium plus 40% of Payne's Gray. So, and I've got the palette just over here off the camera. So, mix the green first and then add a little bit of the Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is one of my very favorite colors. But a little bit of Payne's Gray goes a long, long way. You got the kids' ball, CB? You're a nice neighbor. I don't care what your neighbors say. Okay, I think it could use a little bit more Payne's Gray. I'm always afraid, though, when adding it because it's pretty dark. Oh, now that's pretty. That is really pretty. We're going with that. I think it could be just a hair darker. Hopefully I didn't go overboard here. No, I think that'll be good. I am so proud of myself right now. Getting all gutsy. All right. I think Payne's Gray was the next one, which I don't have to mix, and then taupe, which is, I'll get the Payne's Gray out. Don't need much of that, so that should be plenty. And then taupe is 10% white, 20% yellow ochre. Okay, so it's blush with 50% burnt sienna. So I think what I'm going to do is make sure my brush is really, really good and clean. And because I made so much of this, which I know I'm not going to need, I'll just, since it was the same recipe as the blush, for the most part. Yeah, the only thing was blush had a little bit more yellow, but, and then 50% burnt sienna. And I think I have burnt, yeah, I have burnt sienna in both the M. Graham and the Daniel Smith. And I'm going to use the M. Graham one because I think I like it slightly better. Just seems a little bit richer. Okay, keep your fingers crossed. Let's give it a go. I think I need a little bit more red. I'm going to take a little bit more red. And it's hard to match watercolor in real life with the printed colors, because when they print these colors, they're using pre-mixed inks. So you're probably never going to get them exact. That's pretty darn close. It might use a little bit more red. I'm feeling like one of the great masters right now is what I'm feeling like, you guys. And then I'll read chat. Okay, yeah, that little bit of red I think maybe helped. All right, that's what we're going with. So we've got all our colors. Aren't you glad I didn't do one of the pictures that has a bunch more? All right, so this is the, oops, I don't need that anymore. This is what we're going to be going for. And she said, read all the instructions before you paint. I'm really bad at that. You didn't know I knew them? Yeah, they tell me about you all the time, CB. Read and chat real quick. Your favorite, remove from freezer, remove packaging, place in oven. I totally get that. The truth is, when I have company, I do try and cook us nice, balanced, healthy, nutritious meals that are appetizing, right? I'm going to come right out and say, by Saturday, I was just damn sick of cooking. It's so much easier to cook for Robert and I alone. All right, I think I've got this bad boy pretty flat. So she says the first one is using a waterproof ink, ink the design. Number 2, decide how you'd like to treat your boundaries. I choose to use the defined boundary approach on page 21, which just means don't let it flow outside your penned area. Wash both partially closed flower bud centers and blush using your round 4 brush. I'm going to use my 6. When you have company, oh, I did get some really good wings at Sam's Club that were already cooked, but that was just a snack. So this is it. We're going to go ahead and I'll use the Platinum Carbon Ink pen, which is filled with carbon platinum ink. This is what I've been doing Inktober with. If I have big areas that I need to ink in, I have been using microns for those, but the actual drawings I've been doing with these. I love this pen. If you don't have one, get one. Rob a bank if you have to. Well, when you have guests that show up and say, well, I don't eat roast beef and I don't eat pork, and it's just like, what am I in for? And it would be awesome if I had someplace to order stuff. There's no place around here to go eat. In fact, we were going to go out to eat one night for Mexican. We went to our little neighborhood Mexican place. It's closed for good. So even my best laid plan of eating a meal out, yeah, didn't work. Oh, the name of the pen is, it's Platinum. And it comes with carbon ink. And you can buy the carbon ink pen in either the little pre-filled cartridges like that, which I have some of those, but I normally just take a syringe because I did go ahead and buy a bottle of the platinum carbon ink. And if you like working with fountain pens, that's one thing. If you don't like working with fountain pens, don't get it. But if you like fountain pens and you want nice black permanent ink, you cannot beat this. It's kind of different than using like a micron pen. And I think they only come in one nib size. I'm pretty sure they only come in the one nib size, but it's very functional for me. So, and I'm doing the way the author says to do this. I think you could safely, if you don't have a waterproof pen, you could safely go ahead and watercolor using the gray scale that she's shown here, and then go back with a non-permanent pen after you're satisfied with your end result. One thing I like about this book is it's fun just to play, you know, so you don't have the pressure of drawing the picture yourself and all that. To me, I like this for that. And I'm sure glad Hobby Lobby had it on sale. Have any of the rest of you gone to Hobby Lobby and looked what they had? They had some great books on sale. Quite a few. I could have bought more. I just didn't. I was showing restraint. The reason I'm drawing away from myself is so I can see the line. Otherwise, it's hidden behind my hand. And it would be for you guys too. And if I'm not staying on the line, I'll just go back over it. This center is kind of weird. I don't know that I want to draw it in the black ink. I think I'm going to leave the centers. I'm going to paint them. And then if I feel like I need to, I'll go back in after it's painted. I know, I'm breaking the rules. Rule breaker. I just feel like I'll have more control if I do it that way. So how many of you are staying up to date with your Inktober? The only person I know for sure who was using my prompt list is Tommy Jo. And she's doing hers on text paper. And I love the way that looks. Rule breakers, yes, they do. Yep, CB, you have one of these? They're such nice pens. One of the things with fountain pens that is pretty common is if you don't use it, you'll have to clean the nib or the ink will dry out. I have never had that problem with this pen. It's just not ever happened. I might have to scribble with it for a minute or two, but it always comes back to life and the ink doesn't dry out. Just be careful and don't put your hand in the wet ink, right? Okay, bye, Judy. Have a nice afternoon. You are up to date, Barbara? That's right, Chris. You're making a zine. You know what about Zentangle? And it's probably one of the things I like the best, is you say that you're making a lot of mistakes with the tangles. I don't think you can make mistakes with the tangles, because if it doesn't come out exactly like it's shown, you've just created another tangle. In fact, I screwed one up. I can't remember which one the other day. I couldn't figure out what should go on top of or behind or something like that. So I just thought, oh, just make it up as you go. I ended up really liking it, and it's one of the ones that I have not posted yet. So, yeah, probably any of you who are doing them off the list are going to look at it and say, that's not how it was drawn. But I was like, I like it this way, so leave it. I think that's the beauty of tangles, is they give you a framework to work off of, but if it doesn't come out exactly like that, oh well, new tangle. Then you get to name it yourself. A lot of them are, quite honestly, adaptations of other tangles that other people have designed and posted, and then they just give it a new name. But they're good about telling you that this is very much like whatever tangle they probably goofed up with to come up with a new one. I don't think there are any rules with Zentangle. You make up the rules as you go. But I did like your idea of a zine, Chris. Very creative little person you are. And I think more than anything, it's just the discipline of drawing every day. And if we could do that throughout the year, every one of us would be better at the end of the year. And I don't mean just Zentangles, I mean just drawing in general. Don't care what it is. Exactly. See, she'll have her own book, Chris Tangles. Maybe a website and everything, you know? Tim is drawing monsters. Good job, Tim. Does he have the book, Linda? Or just making them up? I still like the Alpha Monsters or Alpha Beast book better than the Alpha Toons book. And they're much the same, but I just like the monsters better. Even though the Toons are pretty cute. Has anybody else ordered Prismacolor pencils from Amazon? The reason I ask is I ordered a set for, I'm just going to call her my daughter-in-law because I want her to be my daughter-in-law. They're not married yet, but I love her. And while she was here a couple weeks ago, she took some of my books, color books and stuff like that. So when they left, I just went ahead and ordered her a set of Prismacolor pencils, hoping it would be delivered the day after they got home. And that's been, what, 2 weeks now? They still have not shipped those damn things. You bought Castle? Maybe it's just a problem with availability of Prismacolors. I don't know, but I'm a little hacked off about it, you know? You try and do a freaking random act of kindness, and that's what you get. And it makes me a little bit mad. You did order Prisma from Amazon, but found that several were offset. Oh, God, don't tell me they're crap. Well, she's never owned them, so she won't know. They're crap pencils. I'm just pissed that I don't have an explanation. Like, they haven't said that they're not in stock or anything like that. There's just no explanation that they haven't shipped yet. And I don't really want to cancel the order because I don't know what I would replace them with, because Prismacolor are my favorite pencils. So, yeah, they had that problem for a long, long time, Rachel, where the off-centered leads sharpened really weird or broke. I thought they had resolved that. That was kind of a deal. They moved manufacturing to Mexico. And I don't know how long it took them to get it resolved. But for a while, it was really a problem. And I think any pencil manufacturing, depending on the wood that they're using, you're going to run into some of that. But it was almost like when they were having them done in Mexico, they had zero quality control. Hi, Shaz. Go to your account and ask. I have an old 150 Prismacolor US. Those are going to be good, Chris. You have 150 of the barrel? Oh, man, I am jealous. I've ordered a few of the old barrel off of eBay when I can find them, especially when they were having the quality problems. But I thought they had gotten that resolved. So I hadn't even been looking lately. I might have to. I've ordered them from Amazon and never had a problem shipped within prime time. You've never done a zine, Ange? Go to the corner and do one tonight when you're watching whatever smut you're watching on TV. All right, I think I've got it all inked. It looks good. Now this. All right, she said, what did she say? Wash both partially closed. Blood, nope. Oh, okay, she's talking about these buds here. Wash both partially closed flowered bud centers in blush using your round 4 brush. I'm going to use my 6. All right, hopefully I can remember what is where. This is the blush here. This is taupe. This is oxide of chromium, Monstera, and Payne's Gray. So, all right. So using the blush, I'll get out my cheat sheet here. Okay, I think that's going to be good. All right, here we go. Let the painting commence. I don't mind bossing Ange around. Ange expects me to boss her around. Okay, and this is the first time I've painted in this book, and it is watercolor paper. I just don't know how good the paper is, so we're going to be finding out. And obviously, I'm doing wet on dry. One thing when you're watercoloring, it's nice to be able to keep your book flat so that your color doesn't run downhill, right? Gravity will definitely have an impact. And I wouldn't mind cutting the pages out of the book. I rarely work in a book to begin with, but the instructions for the next project are on the back of this page, so I can't tear it out. I guess I could and then put it back in, but I don't, yeah, I'm not sure I'll like that. Okay, there we go. First color done. Exactly, Ange. All right. Beginning at the top of the page, so select a flower petal and wash it in blush. On some petals, let the white of the paper show through on the petal edge. Reserve the painted boundary before the inked outline to give the illusion of light on the petals. Hopscotch to the next petal, choosing one that has no wet boundaries surrounding it, and repeat this step. Continue to repeat this step until all your petals have a nice light wash of blush. So we're going to do it her way and not do wet on wet. She says start at the top of the page. Yeah, I guess I will. Try and keep a wet edge when you're doing this, and then you won't get hard edges. I'll skip that one because of those wet edges there. All right, let's see. We're going to start fighting. Start at the top of the page in order to get a nice white sleeve through the wet paint. No lie. Thanks, Flo. if I had $1 for every time I've dragged my hand through the wet paint. Okay, here, I'll do an assessment of the paper really quick. It's not horrible. I'll give it that. It's absorbing the water very nicely. I so far am not seeing hard edges. And it's drying real evenly. So that's nice. Like here, I can already go in and work on these petals because this here is already dry. So I'm going to get a hard line right there, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. So yeah, the paper is not bad. And I meant to, before I came on here, to go on to Amazon and see if this book was for sale and if there were any reviews or anything, and I forgot. Because I was curious about what people were saying about the paper. But my guess is that they're not saying horrible things because it's really not bad. If I had drawn this myself, my drawing wouldn't be exactly like hers. So it's nice to have this to refer to and have the drawing actually match because mine wouldn't. It's almost like a paint by number. Cheater. And most of you know that your watercolor dries lighter than it appears when you put it down. Right. You think it works, CB? If I took that link, would I be embarrassed? Would I get carpet tape or something like that? That had to be one of the funniest links ever. Thank you, CB. I do appreciate you putting the link in. I'll feel bad for anybody who has to pay full price. First of all, retriever and now a link specialist. Right, Rachel? You know what she's going to do next? She's probably going to want to raise or something. We'll go ahead and do the whole center of this one. All right, we'll let those down there dry and go back up and work on these. 2 times nothing is still nothing. That's what I like about you, CB. You are not only an amazing moderator, you're good at math. Hi, Safia. If we don't have moderators, it won't be a problem, because if you'll notice, those bots who came in and said ridiculous stuff or nasty, I set up my account where you have to be a subscriber for at least 1 minute before you can enter chat. And that eliminated all that nonsense. So, yeah, I don't worry anymore whether or not there are moderators here. And I do try and look up at chat to see that nothing too horrible is going on. And if it is, it's usually coming from Rachel. It's usually coming from the mods, Rachel or CB. So yeah, just putting that, you must be a subscriber for at least a minute before you get to chat has stopped all of that. So that's a good thing. And I think Dee Dee, rather than do that, she put on hers certain words. She just banned certain words like naked or anything like that. And that pretty much stopped them at her channel. And I haven't been at anybody else's stream to know whether or not they're still fighting them, or if finally YouTube took it seriously and started banning them. That's what needed to happen, is YouTube needed to make it a priority. But yeah, we haven't had those in a few weeks, so I think we're good. And Rachel, if you have to go, you go. And if I have to moderate somebody else, I could figure out how to do that very little thing. Because I'm all for people out living life, doing what they need to do. And after having company and everything, I'm fine sitting in my house endlessly, dissing you. I don't think that, yeah, it's on every day, Barbara. It's set up as part of the channel. I don't have to set it up every day. It's just part of the channel. Okay, let's see if I got all the petals, left some white here and there. Oh, that one I need to paint. Yeah, I have to say I'm not disliking this paper at all. And there are some crap watercolor papers out there, believe me. This one I think is pretty good, which will make working in this book much nicer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the areas. And I know I'm going to go back in here and add the other darker blush. Reading chat. You know, I've never been up to Niagara, but now that Rachel's living up there, I might have to go up and sponge off her. That is someplace I really would like to visit. It's one part of the country I've never been to, but I would love to. And don't worry, Rachel, I wouldn't mooch off you. I'd get a hotel. But actually, with gas like it is, I may never be able to afford leaving my home ever again. All right. I think I've got most of the petals now. So I can go back in and add some depth here and there. I can mooch anytime I get there. I'll have to if I have to pay the gas to get there. Could I get some peanut butter? You like vanilla Coke? I don't drink any soda, but I drink more than my fair share of iced coffee, so I don't get any kudos around here. All right, so we've gone to the bottom of where all your petals have a nice light wash of blush. Wash the outer leaves of the top flower bud in oxide chromium and use wet and wet to dab in. All right, in Monstera to deepen the color, use the dry brush technique to sweep away any concentrated color and use your paper towel to blot away excess. So I have a little napkin that I probably used for dinner last night still sitting here. So this will be my little blotter here. And we'll do hopefully I'm going to like this color, you guys. If I don't, I'll have to remix it. But all right, I'm not going to go up against anything that's touching. Look, I got try and keep that wet. So I can drop the darker green in there. I'm a fan of wet on wet. I like the way the paint moves. And this will be a good experiment for the paper, how well it will stay wet and then spread the color. Without getting hard edges. And then she said to use the dry brush technique to sweep away any concentrated color. And I dried the brush off to prevent those hard edges. And I don't know, I think, oh, it's working okay. I can blot up. I like it. Yeah, I like the color mix too. I was worried about that green that I had to mix myself, but I think it's going to be okay. All right. Let's see, I hadn't read all the instructions. Blot away excess water, create highlights and points of light. Use your round one brush to paint and continue a thin wash down the stem. You may find you enjoy the control of this small brush offers. That's why I always use this one. So feel free to use it to complete your piece. Repeat the process in step 5 for the leaves on the flower, bud, and stems, alternating the leaf wash colors in Monstera and chromium oxide. So we'll do this one down here much the same. Try and use ample moisture. Keep it wet. You can, most of you I'm sure have done watercolor. If you see that kind of glistening on the page start disappearing, just re-wet it quickly. And this, I think you just do it to whatever you like, you know. I'm going to let it dry and do that center one. Thanks, CB. And then it looks like the stem, she just used, she kept some of them the lighter green and some the darker. So just do what you like. I shouldn't have done this one first because the paint will run in there, but that's fine. And these are going to dry pretty light, so I might have to go over them again. That's fine too. Going to touch right there. And then just go in and fix your boo-boos. Hi, Sharon. Bye, Shelly. Go have a great afternoon. I really like that green we mixed, so nice. Seriously, going back to work. And you get to work from home now, Ange. That's awesome. I still don't want a job, but if I was going to work, I think I'd want to work from home. Not put up with people. All right. By now, your blush floral petals should be dry, so it's time to paint the flower centers. Using your round 1 brush, wash the center of the first flower in Payne's Gray. Use your paper towel to blot out color from the very center of your wash, leaving a stained gradient of Payne's Gray. Use wet on dry. Remember your thicker 50% water, 50% paint consistency to make small concentrated dabs of deep Payne's Gray, adding a small pops of saturated color to contrast with the blotted out center wash. All right, well, that sounds all really technical to me. I work from home 2 to 3 days, so sometimes lucky you, Ange. I'm glad it's working out for you. I really am. All right, this Payne's Gray is fairly saturated. The water had kind of evaporated, so let's just see. She said use wet on dry. So here we go. The center of the flowers. Try not to make the edges all even. to say I like the blotting out technique. I really do. All right, another question I have. Dee Dee sent me a picture sometime over the weekend. She had decorated all for Halloween and fall, and her porch is really pretty. And I don't do that because I figure here in a week or two, we're going to have leaves all over this crazy yard. That's fall decoration for me. But hers was really pretty. How many of you guys have decorated for Halloween and autumn? I used to when the kids were little and stuff like that. I had some really fun Halloween decorations, stuff like that. Now Robert and I just don't care, so I don't do it. But I always appreciate people who get excited and do stuff like that. Like if you don't follow Miss Vicky B, she is a total Halloween freak. And she has some amazing Halloween decorations. Like I don't even know where you would go to find that stuff. You did. You wore a colored leaf on my lapel. Okay, Rachel, that counts. Cobwebs count. Cat and paste. I'm decorated. Never mind. Glad you brought that to my attention. Actually, all my cobwebs on the outside of my house are going to be gone in about a week because I'm going to have painters here, and they're going to power wash and paint, and everything's going to look brand new. So yeah, it'll all be gone before Halloween. I hope. Keep your fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping. So yeah, right now I have plenty of cobwebs for decoration. If I still had little kids around, I probably would do it. All right, I'm looking in the camera and it looks pretty good. It's really light for you guys. Actually, the actual painting is darker than this. Okay, Sathia, give the kids a hugs and a smooch. Your Christmas tree stays up year round and you decorate it for Halloween? Oh, now that's a crazy idea. Mine would just be covered with dust. My sister-in-law bought so much candy. I really hope she gets a lot of trick-or-treat. Otherwise, they're dead. Have you guys seen the price of the candy? I was freaking out the other day when I was looking at candy prices. And maybe it's been like that for a while because I'm not a huge candy buyer. So I don't know. The prices could have been outrageous forever. But yeah, I was freaking out. Like, how do you even afford to give away candy to those little beggars? I've never had one single trick-or-treater since I lived in Oklahoma. Not one. And it's not because I sit in here with the lights off, okay? There's just no kids out here. And the first year I went and bought candy and everything. I don't know why I thought kids would be around, but for some dingling reason I did. And yeah, I've never had a single one. I'm glad I didn't ink the centers of the flower. I'm not sure that you'd see it that well. Now I'm just adding some depth of color in here. All right. Hi, Jane. Is today Canadian Thanksgiving? Oh, you guys, if it is, I'm really sorry that I just didn't even acknowledge your happy day. Now, that's one holiday I truly love. I do love Thanksgiving. All right, stand up, stretch, and go rinse out that wash water and your round brush until they run clear. I wash everything when I'm done, so I'm going to ignore her for right now. My water's a little dirty, not terrible. With your new clear wash water, let's add the wet on dry details to your petals that give these poppies such a nice pop. Using wet on dry and referencing the icon for inspiration, paint small concentrated lines shaped washes of taupe in saturated lines on your petals. Now use wet on dry. Oh, that's the next one. All right. I'm going to hit it with a heat gun right now because if that black is in any way wet, I don't want it moving. So I'm going to hit it with a heat gun. It is. Well, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. We are such crappy Americans that you would know our Thanksgiving, but I didn't know it was yours. I'm sorry. I hope you get stuffed with turkey. Okay, here we go. Heat gun. All right, that should keep anything from moving. It might be still a little damp, but no, it's all right. Okay, now we get to use the taupe. And I might add a little bit more blush. We'll just wait and see. And I know better than to keep my paint on top of my work, so I've done that before. That's how I know it's not a great idea. All right, make sure my brush is really good and clean. Okay. Start back where we started with the little buds. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself before I smooth out these edges. All right, reading chat. There's a mini celebration in Mexico. Okay. Rachel's going to finally get out of her pajamas. I think that's awesome, Rachel. You are a great host. I don't care what anybody says. All right, putting on this second coat of water. The page is warping a little bit, but not horribly. So that's very cool considering the pages are going to be left in the book. Making just a little bit lighter version of this so I can go in here. Okay, the book didn't tell me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah. Actually, Dee Dee had mentioned this morning, it sounds like your allergies have been better, and they have been because I have pretty much completely eliminated milk. I almost don't drink any dairy products at all. But I think it depends too on what's going on outside. And I can't use my medicine. No, I can, of course, but I've been choosing not to because I was using it so regularly that my nose started bleeding because it's a Flonase. It's a spray. And it was starting to really affect my nasal membrane. So I only use it when I absolutely have to, or if I want to sleep well or something like that. So yeah, it's just one of the crappy things in life, you know. But I have to say, it is better than it used to be. So it comes and it goes. And now we're going to start having molds and stuff outside, which is definitely going to make it worse for a while. You can't use Flonase, makes your nose bleed. Yeah. I had been doing pretty good with my Flonase, using it, you know, like just when I stream because I know the sniffing is so freaking annoying. But yeah, I can't even do that anymore. It's just too gnarly. I could sit here and let my nose bleed, I guess. But I do pretty much live in allergy hell most of the time. I really do try not to complain about it. And I think partly you get used to it. You don't know what people who don't live with the discomfort deal with. And it's only when I wake up not breathing that I think, oh, I wish I was one of those people who didn't have allergies. Most of the time, I don't even think about it. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, though. And in all reality, there are people out there putting up with some real crap. So if I'm sitting here whining about my allergies, somebody needs to kick my ass. That's just the truth. All right. It doesn't say to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Well, I need to paint that in the blush color. But I think down here to get the shadow up under here, I think I'm going to do wet on wet. And I'll try and isolate it to this petal. I just think it will look better. And right now I'm just spreading water. This is not the blush color. Now I'm adding the blush color. Come back and finish that one in just a minute. All right, let's see how that works out. And if I like it there, I might do it there too. So now I'm happy I bought this book. It's going to be fun to experiment and play in, so I'm happy. Oh, really? Now that's unusual, Rachel, saying that a friend found out that some of her watercolors were making her allergies flare. Huh. Well, I'm using M. Graham and Daniel Smith, so I don't know. I probably should pay attention for a little while, Rachel, and see. I actually do like the way that this petal has worked out. So here we go. We're doing it on this one too then. What the heck? Why not? It's my painting. I can do what I want. So even though the edges of the petal looks pure white, they're really not. There is a little bit of blush, and if you're looking at it in person, you can tell. Thanks, Rachel. It's so weird that I like watercoloring now because there was a time I thought, I will never, ever do that. let's see, a few years ago, I don't know, it's been a while. I did a painting, well, I've done it twice, of marbles, glass. And I was looking at something just the other day, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to revisit glass, watercolor glass. That was probably one of the most rewarding paintings ever because of the huge contrast. It just came out, in my opinion, so well that I thought I might need another boost like that and learn some more, right? So yeah, I might have to revisit glass. I'll start looking for the perfect picture. I don't want to do the marbles again, even though that was so rewarding. I'll try and find something else. I did a blue jar once too that was really fun. And I was surprised how easy glass was to do. All right, this is a little bit darker, so here in the not too distant future, I might do some glass on stream. Yeah, if you've never tried glass, it's fun. You just bought a watercolor book, Barbara. Oh, good job. Oh, thank you, Cat and Pace. I'm still at the never ever stage. You know, Barbara, I would say start out like with my little book that I showed at the beginning, like a little swatch book. And I have to say those little exercises that Dee Dee assigned probably built my confidence as much as anything, that I could paint something that actually ended up looking like what it was supposed to look like. And I didn't have to worry so much either about the initial drawing or anything like that. Because I was trying something new with the watercolor, right? So I didn't worry about the drawing so much. And then when I added the watercolor, I have to say, I was just like, well, that worked out really good. So don't set yourself up to be a master at first, like start out with something stupid and simple like a chocolate chip cookie, and then take pride in what you actually accomplish. Another thing I really enjoyed, you know what, Barbara, you might try, and start out with Crayola, something really, really cheap. I did it on stream one time. I don't know where the art is. Look up on YouTube, Neurographic art. And it's just random spaces that you can watercolor in and mix the colors on it, that is a great place to start too. So just start with something nondescript, just to play with the actual colors. Oh, that ran a little bit. Oh, well. And build up your confidence in little pieces. That's what I would recommend. I think that's kind of what I did. I had such low expectations of myself going in, so that if I did something that even remotely looked like a chocolate chip cookie or something, I could pat myself on the back. But I think mostly it's not your drawing skills or that it looked like a chocolate chip cookie. I had never used watercolors in any form. So it was kind of daunting to think about choosing the colors and knowing how they were going to behave. That's why I think the neurographic art is so good, because it's not recognizable. So you don't have to worry about, well, that doesn't look like a clown or whatever it is you are drawing. The expectations can be really, really low, and you just play with the color. And I have to say, it was really fun. I don't know where that neurographic art is. I'll try and pull it out here in a minute, see if I can find it. And it's kind of like Zentangle. I was going to have Nikki do some neurographic art while she was here, just to keep her busy and give her some creative little outlet. But she ended up deciding that she wanted to crochet, so I got her out some yarn and the crochet needles. And she watched YouTube videos and crocheted, which is good. I don't care what you do as long as you give yourself some creative outlet. I think everybody needs that. So I'll see if I can find that so you can kind of see how carefree it can be. But I think everybody needs a hobby, some outlet, something you enjoy doing. That's another reason I like glue books. It doesn't matter what it is, just something. Oh, I have to paint that little doodad there green. What the heck? Gotta let that dry now. I think I got all the areas. Now use wet on dry to create one nice concentrated line and color of taupe in your flower buds. So I already did that. So in effect, I think I accomplished it. What do you guys think? I still don't like this up here. So I think what I'm going to do is spit on my painting first of all, because that's what you should always do after you've worked for an hour and a half on something. Just honker up a big old fat loogie and let it fly. I don't want a harsh line though, so hopefully this paper is going to absorb and not let that happen. I hope that's not a mistake, what I just did. To me, that just looked weird, that great big white space there. I don't know. I'm looking at it thinking, not too bad, girl. Right? The recipes worked out pretty darn good. I'd say I came very, very close to to the originals. So I'm not going to let myself be intimidated anymore by color mixing recipes. I just added some water up here on this. I'm going to, because I like the way this worked out down here, I'm going to go ahead up here and do a little bit of wet on wet to get that color gradation a little better. But that's one thing about starting with a book like this that gives you step-by-step instructions. And then you figure out the techniques or whatever that you like and incorporate them. And I think that's how you learn. It's certainly how I've learned. And painting along with somebody else, I think, is always good. Hey, Icy. You were cleaning, huh? That's torture. Thank you, Terry. Thanks, Cat and Paste. Good, Barbara. See, that encourages me. That makes me want to keep streaming. That you love tangling and glue books. I think sometimes it's valuable to learn something new, try something new, see if it's something you enjoy. I love illuminated letters. Let me see if I can find, what would I have done with that neurographic thing? Thing is, I have so dang many journals started now. It could be in a journal. It could be in my miscellaneous artwork. Let me just look in here real quick. I think these were watercolors. Nope, these are mostly drawing. Not in that one for sure. It could be in the folders. Oh, look at, I picked it up right away. Oh my God, I want to go kiss myself in the mirror. Maybe somewhere in the recesses of my brain, I do have actual functioning neurons. This was just watercolor play, Barbara. This is Neurographics, where you just draw, like you start out with a Zentangle, where you just draw a scribbly line. And then wherever the lines meet, I'll just use a Sharpie pen. Anywhere the lines intersect, curve those. And you'll end up with some really weird shapes, and that's no problem. And then you can emphasize them really as much as you want. And this does look like, if you take a picture of a brain, this is what the neurons in your brain kind of look like as they make connections and stuff. And this is like the most stress-free art you could ever create, but you can come up with some really pretty things. And I'm just going to use up the paint that I have here, painting real quickly. Fortunately, there aren't too many lines that I have to do this to. But even doing that part of it is so relaxing. Now I'm probably going to have to do a neurographic painting. But this is one thing that's really fun. If you get new supplies or something, you know, you just want to try them out. This is a great way to do it. You do a whole book of nothing but neurographics. And then if you wanted, add quotes or whatever to turn it into something worth keeping. But it's a great way to just play with your products, especially watercolor. Because I could just as easily have started this wet on wet. And maybe the next one I will do. Keep it real wet. And I think this scrap paper that I got out, I think it's a sheet of B paper, but I'm not sure, but I think it is. And B paper is adequate, not the best, not the worst. I like B paper. It behaves better than Canson for sure. The problem with B paper is for a while it was so darn hard to get a hold of. I don't know if it still is. I haven't checked in a long, long time. But this is really just mindless arting. But I think if you have a problem that you're struggling with or something, this is the kind of art that to me is just it's just beneficial. Sit down, create something, think about your problem, whatever it is. But you can get some really interesting effects. Hold that up so you can see it. Rachel, thank you so much for the prayer. I always appreciate that. Thanks for coming. Hi, Dorothy. You didn't think I was streaming? No, that's Dee Dee's not streaming this week. And last week I wasn't sure because of having the kids here, but it is a great way, Barbara, to practice wet on wet. Or another thing it's really good for is I'm just using up the paint that I already have mixed, but color mixing or color play. What colors are going to play well together? What colors are not going to play well together? Like blue and green, you can always paint next to each other. They're always going to play well together. Purple and yellow, on the other hand, oops, well, you guys can't even see what I'm pointing at. But purple and yellow, on the other hand, having them side by side is a little bit uncomfortable because they will not play together. Purple and green, as a rule, will not play well together. Yellow and blue will. So it's a fun way to work with color, see how it's going to behave if you're using wet on wet. Now, if you're using wet on dry, it doesn't really matter. You just be really careful when you get up close to that complementary color. So I don't know. It's just a fun way. In this one, I think when I started out, I think I just drew the circles and then drew the tangly line through it to come up with some really odd, unique shapes, but still keep the circles. And see this one, you can tell I was doing wet on wet, and the green got into the yellow and did some interesting things. Or where the paper had dried, where I got that really hard line. You could do just experiments for that. You know, what are the things that I do that I can create that if I actually want it in my art? Because that can be a really nice effect in a painting if you know how to create it well. So yeah, this is definitely one type of art. I would say it's fun to experiment. It's fun to play with your stuff. now that I've started. I'm done with my painting, so I mean I'm essentially done unless there's something you guys want to see or want me to do. I didn't clean out my brush great that time, so there's a little hint of color, but oh well. And I've got that fairly wet, and bee paper holds water pretty well. I mean, you don't have all, like arches, you have all the time in the world to play with arches because it just holds that water forever. Bee is not horrible. It'll hold water fairly well so you can get done what you need to get done if you're being even halfway mindful. Another thing is to lift the paper. If you've got it wet enough and you add the color, and this is drying out pretty fast actually, but let the color run. With gravity. That's always really cool. Up above, you mentioned a book for painting glass. Oh, I'll go back and look, Sharon. This is what I need, another book. I don't have a near enough. Didn't you hear me talking about that flippin' hoarder that had books? Scared the snot out of me. It's what I was going to become. I do actually need to order a bookshelf if I can figure out a place to put it. I'm not opposed. Oops, see that water has gone ahead and migrated into there. I don't want that to do that. That's not, okay, that's still pretty damp, so I want to stay away from that if I can help it. As I paint right up next to it again. Freaking dope. I don't think it's going to absorb. If it does, who cares? I'm just playing anyway. But a whole book of neurographics with your favorite quotes could be really quite nice. Work on your lettering and playing with color. That could turn out really, really fun. I actually like these colors that she had me mix. Oh, and before I use all these paints, I need to go back and put them in my book, don't I? I'm going to do that next. But these colors look good together. I like them a lot. Yeah, the organic, I sticky art. I like the organic shapes too. So the easy beginner book I got was Watercolor the Easy Way, Sarah Berenson. I think I have a Sarah Berenson book, Barbara. I'm almost sure I do. Probably now that I've started that swatch page for the recipes for the rest of the paintings in this book, I might just go ahead and, no, I'm going to do them as I mix them because, yeah, I'm just going to do that. All right, this is just Payne's Gray. pretty watered down. But I think I'm going to take some directly out of the palette. Hopefully there's enough water in here that it's going to run really nice. If you want this kind of technique to work well, just make sure it's really, really wet, because it's hard to go back and add later. So now I could just sit there and do, just play like forever. See how this was not dry, so I went ahead and migrated in there. Let's see how well I can do cleaning that up. I don't think I'm going to do well, but we're going to try it anyway. But those are the things when you're doing stuff like this that you'll learn. Don't do that again. That was stupid. And if I was really working on something I cared about, I'd be pissed right now. Like, really pissed. Yeah, see, Barbara, that's why I recommend it. You know, if you're a little nervous about trying it, just do something like this. You'll probably be surprised with the results. And I cleaned that up pretty good, so you guys can all heap praise on me in chat if you want. I'll take it. I'm kidding. Of course. Kind of. Not really. So, I'll watch for Dee Dee on Wednesday. I don't know what her plans are. I really don't. In her little video, she said no stream this week, but check Wednesday morning no matter what, because I really don't know kind of what her plans are. I actually like these colors a lot. That's why we need other artists leading the way. I never thought of using Neurographic art. Thanks, Barbara. Yeah, give it a try. What the heck? What do you got to lose? It's a piece of paper and some paint. And hopefully you'll learn something along the way. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Anything else you guys want to see or talk about or learn, whatever? This one actually was the Derwent Graphitint paints. And one of the nice things about them is, can you see how, like right in there especially, I was obviously working very, very wet. And how it granulated so nicely, like a whole thing of that would be just awesome. And some of the colors obviously granulated better than others, but yeah, something smells really good. So yeah, give it a go. Don't set you and don't set yourself up for failure. Like, do something small. And that was one of the things I liked about starting in this journal. Even though all I was doing was swatching, finishing a page in one sitting was so doable. And after I came out with the spacing and everything, it was just like, it was so doable. And you get about 3 or 4 pages in, and all of a sudden you start getting satisfaction. All right, bye, Chris. Go have a great afternoon. You're still working in a zine? Good girl, Missy. Start with something small, because I think if you like get a great big journal and then you've got that huge journal page that you're going to have to fill up, it's almost like setting yourself up for failure. So I would say start small and build up your confidence and go from there. This is another one I love this. Oh, this was so fun. And it's much the same thing. Is just drawing a tangle. The only thing I didn't do was curve out the corners, and then picked 5 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, 6 colors. This was a ton of fun. I could have this blown up, put on my wall. Something really colorful. So yeah, just experiment. These I do need to paint though. I have too much watercolors, I know that. Okay, I did the blush one. Wash out my brush real good. The other one, I'm going to add water because they've really, really evaporated. This was the taupe. So I'm pretty happy with my little color mixing here. Taupe is actually not one of my favorite colors, but I did love taupe colored shoes. I don't know why. They went with everything, I think is why. Back when I cared what I looked like. All right, the other one was the green, but I had to mix it because I didn't have the original green. So the only other one I mixed was the Monstera. Is that what it was? Yeah, I think it was. I ended up really liking this color too. It's kind of a dark, dark, dark green. Hard to see the green in it. I'm going to add some green to it. So I have 3 in my little recipe book here now. So I guess as I work through that book, I'll get them all filled in. And if I don't think the watercolor police are going to come get me. So that will be an ongoing little project. I hope I remember to do it next time. So move this crapola out of the way. There's the painting from today. Here's the Zentangle that I will keep working on every day. I have not drawn one for today. I have it sketched out down here. I know what I'm going to do. I just haven't finished it yet. And this will get completed as the month goes on. So, ooh, that shading up there looks like crap. Oh well. All right, you guys, anything else? before I head out and go do something less productive than I just did. I'm pretty happy with it. When I look at it compared to the example shown, I did a fairly good job, I think. Probably my favorite part of it are the buds. Of course, I like real strong colors. So, all right, you guys, go do something productive. Keep, thank you, Barbara. Thanks, Sharon. Keep Dee Dee and her family in your prayers. They could definitely use some strength and just endurance. So I will see you guys, I hope Wednesday. If I don't, I hope I see you somewhere else around the interwebs. And be kind. And I'll see you guys. Love ya. See you later. Bye.